everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Paola, and today I have a very special guest, Andrea. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us why we're here?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, my name is Andrea Mosqueda. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And my debut YA rom-com, Just Your Local Bisexual Disaster, is coming out May 24th.
That's exciting. First YA book, romance,
Yeah.
queer, beautiful. So tell us a little bit about it. What's it about? What can we expect as readers?
So it's about Maggie Gonzalez, who's a bisexual Chicana growing up in the Rio Grande Valley, where I was from. It's like the tip of Texas, like down near the border. Maggie Gonzalez is a junior in high school who is preparing for her little sister's quinceañera, and she's trying to find a date, and it's a little bit difficult because she has feelings for like 3 of her friends, and she is trying to untangle that big ball of yarn of like hormones and feelings and fears and insecurities, and kind of trying to figure out her relationships and figure out who she wants to take and who eventually she wants to take into her future as well. So that's what you can expect. You can expect a lot of messiness, a lot of tears and anger and running eyeliner, but also a lot of sunsets and a lot of like sweet things as well. So yeah.
It's a really well balanced story with the angst, but also the like happy, joyful moments. I'm excited for readers to get their hands on it. So how would you describe Maggie, Amanda, Matthew, and Danny in 3 words for each of them?
I always struggle with those, especially when I'm trying to do it with people in real life. But this one was a good one. Maggie, I would say she's like above all loyal. Like no matter how much she shows it and how like messy she is the entire time, like she's really just trying deep down inside, and resourceful, because as you see, she in the book, she used a photo project for school to help figure out her love life. So I mean, if that's not using your resources, I don't really know what is. And above all, she is loving. Amanda, first of all, she's confident, and you'll like see that in the book. She's just like, everything that she does is very deliberate and precise. And I think that's what draws like Maggie to her, kind of also her precision and just how meticulous she is about her life. And since Maggie herself is a little bit messy and never really gets anything kind of right, is, you know, always has at least a hair out of place, a hole in her beanie, like her shoelaces are untied. And so having someone in her life who is like both confident and precise and just fierce in everything she does, like really draws her like a moth to a flame. Matthew, he is he's sad. Overall, when you asked me this question, I was just like, he's sad and he's proud and he's open, if that makes sense. He's open to change and criticism and being kind of like figuring out how to like be a person and balance all these feelings. He's very open. Danny herself is very thoughtful. She pays attention. She's also observant because she's an artist. So she's kind of always looking at things objectively, is trying to kind of view them as an artist and not as a participant, which is why being with Maggie was difficult for her, because it made her a part of someone's story rather than being someone who's telling that story. Yeah. But she's brave, and that's like the third thing. I think she's above all just brave because she tries anyway. And I think that's also what's at the heart of this whole thing, is just trying and being brave enough to risk losing someone in order to be honest with your feelings and giving that relationship a chance to flourish honestly. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, what a wholesome answer. I loved all of those words. That's so sweet. So Just Your Local Bisexual Disaster really like reads like a movie. So if Maggie's story got a movie adaptation deal, who would you like as a director?
Yeah, thank you for saying that it reads like a movie. That's like every time it's like someone asks me, what are your like literary influences for the book? I'm just like, does Mosquita y Mari and the Florida Project count as book inspirations? Because they're movies. The director of this would be probably Aurora Guerrero, who is the director of Mosquita y Mari.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the first like queer kind of movie that I saw that felt like a realistic to like how it felt to grow up as a Chicana and like as a queer Chicana in a place that wasn't open to that. And having these really intense friendships that are so like confusing, and they bring up a lot in you, and they're kind of, especially when you're not someone who has the language to articulate those feelings, it's hard. And I think that Aurora really got at the heart of that gray area of friendships with Mosquita y Mari, and all of the characters look like people I knew growing up. So that was really lovely. Nice. I saw it in college, and I felt like a baby.
Nice. Fingers crossed.
I know. If you're out there, please.
If you were to write a spin-off novel or even a short story on any of Maggie's potential dates, who would it be and why?
It's hard for me to want to focus on just one of them. I mean, you read the book, that's the whole thing. But I really think I would follow Amanda, because I think jumping from Maggie's perspective as someone who's kind of falling between two chairs, I think there's a saying in like Finnish or something that is like means falling in between two chairs, where you don't quite fit in one category, which is just bisexuality in general. And Amanda is very much like black or white. She has everything kind of planned out. So I think it would be interesting to follow her into the future when things most definitely are not always black and white, and see how she navigates the messiness of like adulthood and growing up and leaving that bubble of thinking you have everything figured out. I think Taylor Swift in a song with like Phoebe Bridgers said like, how can I know everything at 19 and nothing at 22? Mm-hmm. And so I think that's like what Amanda's in the Rude Awakening Amanda's here for. So I think I would like to see that.
So this is a game. It's called This or That, Bookish Edition. So fiction or nonfiction?
So I like fiction, because even though real life can be like wilder than fiction can, I already live in real life. So I would like to escape a little bit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's a great answer. Print book or audiobook?
Ooh, print book, 100%. Like I'm definitely more of a visual learner. I can finish a physical book like in a few hours if you just let me, but an audiobook would take me forever, because the words I keep getting distracted and the words just keep flying over my head. I only have one.
It's hard to it's hard to focus. Like it took me a long time to get used to audiobooks. It's hard. Reading one book at a time or juggle more than two books at a time?
So there are two different answers for this. Actual books, I can only do one at a time, because like I said, I kind of devour them in like one sitting. Mm-hmm. And I just like don't allow myself to enjoy it. I just essentially unhinge my jaw and throw the book in. But I can read a zillion fanfics at one time. Like I have like 30 tabs open in my phone of like just like fan fictions that I'm like in the middle of. So I think it's like a two-prong thing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that answer. I never really thought about it that way, but it's a great answer, and it's true. Fantasy or contemporary?
Ooh, contemporary, mostly just because like I was the kind of kid who would burst other people's make-believe bubbles, like being like, dragons aren't real, but then go home and wish I was a dragon.
Yeah.
But if you can meld the two, like I love speculative fiction. I could read that all day. So if you can find a compelling way to meld the two, I'm like, that's top tier. Chef's kiss.
Nice. Coffee or tea?
Ooh. Maybe you could like, I feel like both, but dear God, my coffee problem. It's a problem. It's a problem. Don't let anyone ever tell you that they don't have a problem. If they drink coffee all the time, they have a problem.
Sunny day or rainy day?
Sunny, 100% every day, all day. I don't go outside. So like my vitamin D is like half of what it should be. So anytime I can get out in the sun and like just be there all the time, I want to go. I'm a Scorpio, so I tend to be a little like doom and gloom as a person. So I'd much rather sulk in the sunshine than in a storm. And I think that's why a lot of like JYLBD takes place in the sunlight, because I love the contrast of like stormy feelings that are like brewing up inside of you and kind of clouding your vision, and like also having these clear, sunny skies that are telling you everything's fine. And
Yeah.
we're just trying to balance both.
And finally, what do you hope readers take away from Just Your Local Bisexual Disaster?
So I really, really hope that readers take away that there's like more than one way to have an intimate relationship with someone. So many times in like stories, like even rom-coms and things like that, they focus on like the romantic without giving kind of equal weight to the other friendships and familial relationships, which take just as much work and like are just as deep as like romantic relationships. And I think not a lot of people remember that. And all those relationships deserve as much love and care as they can in order to like grow and thrive. And so I think that's why like in JYLBD, there is like, obviously it's a rom-com, so there's like romance in it, but a lot of like the tenderness comes from a lot of the other things, like a lot of the friendship and a lot of the family moments. And I want readers to take away from the fact that even if they don't have like romantic love in their life right now, like, or like at all, that doesn't mean that they can't have deep, fulfilling, intimate relationships with other people in their lives. And I mean, some of the worst breakups I've had are friend breakups. So, I mean, friend breakups, family problems, all of those things. And so I just want people, especially young people, as they're learning how they relate to other people, like give themselves some grace, that it doesn't always have to be romantic to be fulfilling.
I love that. That's a very good thing to take away from Maggie's story, and I definitely agree. Like, especially for YA, I think a lot of the focus really lies on romance, and we should be focusing on other things, because
Yeah.
romance is great and everything, but like not everybody has that so young.
Yep. Especially when you grow up as kind of like a teen of color who's not like traditionally like attractive in this like Eurocentric like beauty world that we live in, then you might not have even had like a relationship in high school to like point to, like a romantic relationship in high school to point to. So I think it's important to like understand that there are all kinds of relationships. And like no matter what, just because somebody doesn't love you romantically doesn't mean that you're not worth loving, you know?
Yes, 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 absolutely. So thank you so, so much for joining me today. I'm really happy that I got to talk to you, that we got to chat about Maggie. I can't wait for readers to have these in their hands. And yeah, people, don't forget to check the description below for buy links for Just Your Local Bisexual Disaster. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Andrea, for being here with me. And we will see you in another one. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you. It's so nice seeing